you come back and shoot somebody, it's diabolical. Now, speaking of diabolical, this is definitely diabolical, right? Now, I'm in Philly, and several occasions this year, no, maybe a little bit of last year, but the last couple years, I feel like the last couple years, it's been a lot of shootings on the buses, or bust, whatever you want to call it, on multiple buses, whatever way you want to cut the cake. It's been multiple shootings on the bus. Now, the messed up side about this is Philly is a big city. Um, you people, if you don't have a car, you had to get the bus to work. So that's the messed up thing about it. Either way you cut the cake, you can get like Lyft or Uber, or you could get the bus. Now, this right here would definitely, um I don't have children, but I definitely, knowing that people are shooting on a bus multiple times, I would definitely put my child, if they can't walk to the school bus, I definitely would do like Lyft and Uber. And and that has its flaws too, but shooting on the bus is crazy, even for Philly. The last 2 or 3 years, there's been more shootings on the bus. Now, obviously, this is Philly. We always have shootings, but to me, there's been more shootings on the bus, which is that's wild and crazy. Even for Philly, that's wild. It's like, you got to realize, shooting on a bus is literally a terroristic threat type of thing. You know what I mean? It's a terrorist act, if you want to say that. So it's a terrorist act. That's wild. So let me make sure I'm on the right screen. So let's take a look at this. Yeah, this is wild to me, yo. Even being from Philly for years, we haven't seen this like that.
Is on for a man in Philadelphia. Philadelphia police say shot four people, including three teenagers, and it all
Damn.
happened on a crowded bus. Thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Johnny Archer. Police gave us an update just as we got off the air at 6 o'clock. They tell us the bus was full of people and just down the street from the Philadelphia Zoo when the shooting happened. NBC 10's Lili Zhang has been speaking with detectives and passengers about what happened.
For our Saturday, Philadelphia police, as well as SEPTA authorities, were in the area of 33rd and Girard trying to figure out exactly what happened on bus 15, how a routine bus ride led to gunfire.
34th and Girard. She added like 10 R's on that joint.
Stopped in the middle of the road on 33rd and Girard Saturday evening. A SEPTA bus is empty. No passengers, just city and regional authorities.
There are 10 shell casings on the bus that we have found thus far.
Inspector D.F. Pace with the Philadelphia Police Department confirms it was this bus where three teenage boys between 14 and 16 were shot around 6:30, allegedly by another passenger, a man possibly in his 40s.
One was shot in the back, one was shot in the hand, and one was shot.
Now I didn't know these details. That's why we're doing Hood Action News. Now, this. So the man was in his 40s, and it was a bunch of teenagers, right? So you pretty much know what happened there. Like, they probably were talking trash to him, and they just talked to the wrong axe murderer old head, right? But listen, when you have a gun, let me put the camera on me. Put the camera on me, goddammit. when you have a gun, even though it may seem like self-defense, if you shoot in public around a lot of people, you're still going to go to jail for public endangerment. So I'm going to repeat this. If you have a gun and you shoot it in broad daylight around a lot of people, you're still going to get booked for public endangerment, and they might book you if you can't prove this self-defense, which for young dudes. And on top of that, if these dudes weren't, if the kids weren't armed, let's say that, not even dudes, if the kids aren't armed, you're still, if you can't prove that they were trying to, basically, if you can't prove that these little kids try to rob you, you're going to get like endangering minors. So you're going to go to jail for endangering minors, right? Let's just say they lived, right? So I'm trying to find out, did they live or not? Endangering minors, and you're going to get the public endangerment charge. So I don't know how many years that is. You could do your lawyer Googles on that. You know what I mean? But you gotta be mindful when you got a gun. You gotta be 100% mindful. So let's see what happened with the rest of the story.
Shot in the foot. All three, however, are in stable condition at this time.
Inspector Pace says a fourth passenger, a 39-year-old woman, was grazed by a bullet.
Damn.
Pace says it's not clear why the shooter confronted the teen sitting in the back, but noted the Route 15 bus was carrying about 30 people when he opened fire.
Yeah, oh my God. It's horrible.
Damn,
Dasha
yo.
Suhova says she is normally one of those people. She says she takes the bus about 6 times a week.
No, I'm shocked because you never think about those things, yeah, because
Yo, now I'm gonna tell you what's wild about them interviewing this white woman. This is, look. Now, I'm gonna tell you, yo, for all of y'all out there that are not from Philly, right? Hold up. This is crazy. Yo, Girard Avenue is in the middle of the hood in West Philly, right? The zoo, the hood is walking distance from the zoo. You walk down the street, and it's basically the beginning of West Philly, right? Her saying that she can't imagine that this could happen is super super cat, like Captain Crunch cat. You know what I mean? Now, she probably never been through this before. She sounds like she's from another country, but you saying that a shootout is crazy in this area that she's in is wild. That's all I wanted to say. Is cat. She's definitely camera capping.
it sounds like something impossible that it won't happen exactly to you, and I don't want to think about it, to be honest.
Pace says police are working with SEPTA, reviewing video. Every SEPTA bus is equipped with several surveillance cameras.
As our leadership has stated in the past, this year has seen a marked decrease in the number of shootings and violence. I understand that that is no consolation to those that are still affected by gun violence. Nonetheless, we are doing absolutely everything we can to ensure the safety of those that are here in the city.
At this hour, Philadelphia authorities are still trying to confirm a motive. They have not made any arrests yet. Reporting in Philadelphia, Lily Zhang, NBC 10 News.
Yo, the motive is some young boys trying to act tough, and old head wasn't having it. We know that that's probably the motive, allegedly, right? But you like I said, you can't pull out a gun and just shoot around. I don't think people know that you can't pull out that gun, not unless they have a gun. You can't just pull out and shoot in public. You're gonna get a public endangerment charge, and you're going to get like endangering minors or something like that. Now, if you walking down the street and 4 young dudes with masks roll down on you and there's nobody around and you pop them, you probably get away with that most likely, but they're going to slap you with the judge is going to pancake you, old head. Even though old head may be in the right moralistically, somebody trying to run down on you, talking trash to you, something like that. But legally, the judge is going to IHOP his ass. You're going to get the public endangerment charge, and then you're going to get public endangerment, and then you also going to get public endangerment, and then you're going to get that malicious and wounding charge. Because the bullet breaks the skin, you're gonna get assault, malicious and wounding. They're gonna pile that up. So if you got a gun, you got to be careful. You got the gun legally. How you shoot the gun is important too. So, like I said, you may have a gun legally, but how you act, where, why, and how you shoot the gun. So you'll have a gun, you get the gun legal, you got your license to carry, but where, how, and why you shoot the gun is going to determine if you go to jail or not. So be careful out here. Definitely be careful. Now, I just wanted to take a couple look at a couple things. This is hoodactionnews.com. Now, let's go over to Detroit. Let's go over to Detroit, Michigan, and see what's going on over there. Let's see what's going on in Detroit. They're not just shooting in Philly. They're shooting everywhere. But like I said, just remember what I said. If you pull out and shoot that gun around a lot of people, they're gonna give you that public endangerment. They may give you I don't think they'll give you terrorists, but they're gonna give you that public endangerment charge. You can't pull out and shoot a gun around a lot of people. You can't do it. And I don't think people know that. Let's see what's going on in Detroit.
Are dead and a young girl is in the hospital after a shootout between two groups. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin has the latest.
This investigation is very much a fluid one as police try to figure out what sparked the shootout on the city's west side during a warm, very summer-like evening. Police stress all this information is preliminary at this point. This is the scene on Patton Street, just before Midland on Detroit's west side, where 4 were shot and 2 of those victims are dead. Another is in critical condition at a hospital. A 12-year-old girl grazed after taking a shot to the leg. We're told she's going to be fine. Now we are told the dead are a 40-year-old woman and a 37-year-old man. Here's what happened. And again, police say this is very early information, but they say a woman told police her daughter's husband, the suspect in this case, pulled up and started firing at them. The witness's daughter is one of the victims who died. Someone returned fire, wounding the suspect, a 38-year-old man who police say took off from the scene in a car before ending up at Botsford Beaumont Hospital in Farmington Hills for treatment. Detectives say they're looking at 2 separate caliber casings at the scene, meaning a hand.
So you pull up and shoot somebody and then go to the hospital. You think they're not going to catch you at the hospital.
Gun and rifle were likely used in the attack. Detroit police have been preparing for a possible uptick in warm weather violence as we get closer to summer. Here's what they say about that.
Under the leadership of Chief Todd Bettison, we are very confident that we have strategies in place to combat violence. We will continue our strategies as the summer goes on, and we caution anyone who uses violence as a way to resolve their conflicts. We will be investigating and we will come to a conclusion.
If you have any information about this shooting on Patton Street, any information at all, you are urged to call Detroit Police. They want to remind you your tips can be made anonymously. At Detroit Police Headquarters, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Also tonight, East Point police need your help after a man was shot in broad daylight this afternoon.
Damn.
It comes less than a week after a quadruple shooting in that same area. Fox 2's
Damn.
Camille Amiri is on the case.
Friday afternoon, a shooting in East Point.
We don't know why this happened.
What we do know, around 3:30 p.m. on Kelly near 8 Mile, a dark colored sedan pulled up to this minivan. Police say a person inside the sedan fired several shots into the minivan. The driver crashing his vehicle after being hit by gunfire. Rushed to an area hospital, an open Bible on his dashboard, and a United States Marine Corps ornament hanging from his rearview mirror.
Damn,
We've been
that's
seeing a
crazy.
lot of that often as well, whether it be on the freeways or even in the neighborhoods and the residentials, where it just seems like a random shooting where people just pull up next to a car and open fire.
On Saturday, just yards away, a 19-year-old woman allegedly shot 4 men outside the Foot Locker, killing 2 of them. Police say that was a targeted attack.
It's either a coincidence or at this point.
Yo.
Year-old woman allegedly shot 4 men outside the Foot Locker, killing 2.
Up next to a car and open fire.
On Saturday, just yards away, a 19-year-old woman allegedly shot 4 men outside the Foot Locker, killing 2 of them. Police say that was a targeted attack.
It's either a coincidence or at this point, I don't want to speculate. We have no suspicions that it's related, but at this time, at this world, all kind of stuff is happening.
Yo, so Detroit is wild. I just want to take a look at that. So, yo, it's your boy Post. I'm going to shut it down for the day. Yo, definitely wild out here. Definitely be safe. Just doing a short show to get everything moving. We are back. So let me see something. So, yo, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. But I'm gonna go back to this Philly, what I said about this Philly case, right? That Philly case, the Philly case that I was talking about, when you gotta when you get your license to carry and you think everything's good and all of that, where you shoot, when you shoot, and why you shoot is going to determine whether you go to jail or not in the situation. So you gotta have situational awareness when you shoot your gun, of why you even pull out the gun, because you can go to jail for even pulling out a gun. So, yo, if you could resolve it without even pulling out a gun, I really would. You know what I mean? If you don't really see nobody else, if somebody pulls out a knife and comes after you, you gotta shoot them. Something like that. That's self-defense. You know what I mean? They pulled out a knife, came after you in close quarters, within 15 feet, you pulled out your gun and shot them. That's self-defense. But you cannot pull out a gun if you're in an argument. You can't draw first if you in an argument. You know what I mean? If this person don't pull out nothing, or if they not reaching or nothing like that, you're not really in a threat. You can't lead with your gun, is what I'm trying to say. So you cannot lead with your gun. You know what I'm saying? You can't pull it out. You know what I mean? Pause. So that's just a learning lesson. If you don't know that, you know, when you get that gun, it's a gun. You're gonna feel powerful and all of that, especially y'all dudes that can't fight and all of that. You're gonna feel like you got some type of power, or like you tough, but you cannot lead and pull out that gun for no reason. And then you definitely can't shoot in a crowd full of people. A lot of y'all, y'all know everything, but y'all don't know what y'all need to know. So I'll repeat that again. A lot of y'all dudes know everything, but y'all don't know the stuff y'all need to know. That's why people wind up in jail trying to act tough. But listen, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And this is hoodactionnews.com with your boy Post the Mogul, PTM. And I'm signing off, and I'm Izzo. Holla.